Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at two different overdrive pedals, but both of them are similar in a sense that they're both derived from the same circuit, which is the Marshall Bluesbreaker type circuit. Now I'm not saying that these pedals are similar to the Marshall Bluesbreaker, it's just that they took inspiration from it originally. So yeah, and both of these, this one was actually originally based on a boutique pedal, and this one is a boutique pedal. So it's interesting to compare these two. So let's talk about this one first. This is the MXR Duke of Tone. It is the mass-produced version of the Analog Man Prince of Tone, which is a very highly sought-after pedal for how versatile it is. Originally based on the King of Tone, and the King of Tone is also like a really sought-after pedal made by basically one guy, or actually maybe he has a team, but anyways, a small operation, Analog Man. So the MXR Duke of Tone is the mass-produced version of the Analog Man Prince of Tone, which is one half of the Analog Man King of Tone. So, okay, the story is there is this boutique pedal builder, one of the most famous boutique pedal builders, one of the OG boutique pedal builders, Analog Man, Mike Pira. He made these pedals called the King of Tone, which are very distant cousins of the Marshall Bluesbreaker, and he added his own, tweaks and everything on top of it. It's a very versatile pedal, but it's highly sought after and in demand. You have to join a wait list, wait like 1 or 2 years to get one basically, and they sell for like 500, 600 bucks online. Very hard to get. And then I believe one half of it was basically like chopped off and turned into the Prince of Tone, a little bit cheaper than the King of Tone. There's still like a wait list and high in demand, but not as much as the King of Tone. So yeah, a lot of people like the Prince of Tone, and the MXR, which is this is a subsidiary of Dunlop. They actually have been taking a lot of boutique builder pedals and kind of mass producing it to get into more people's hands, which I think is really cool. Like they did that with the MXR Timmy. The Timmy is actually another boutique pedal. A lot of people, really liked it, highly sought after. And the MXR took it and then brought it to a wider audience, which I think is a really cool idea. So they did this with the Timmy, now they're doing this with the Prince of Tone, and they turned it into the Duke of Tone. So yeah, I've never tried a Prince of Tone before. I never got my hands on one because yeah, they're not like mass-produced pedals or anything. They cost quite a bit on the secondary market. So yeah, it's really cool to find the Duke of Tone because this one only sells for $130 MSRP, meaning that it's relatively easy to pick up. Not too expensive or anything. It's about the average price for a pedal. So yeah, you got 3 controls here: volume, drive, and tone. And then it has 3 different settings here: OD, boost, and distortion, which means this seems to be quite versatile. And I think that's one of the things that the Prince of Tone and the King of Tone is known for, is for the versatility. And yeah, apparently it's manufactured exactly like the Prince of Tone, except for the hand-wired parts and stuff. Otherwise, the circuit should be pretty much identical. So yeah, should be interesting to check this one out. I've always wanted to try a Prince of Tone or King of Tone, but I just never haven't been able to get my hands on one. Right? They're not easy to get. So it's nice that we have a mass-produced version that's much easier for people to get, the Duke of Tone. All right, so then the next pedal I have is still a handmade pedal. It's not mass-produced. This is a boutique pedal in every sense of the word. It's made by one guy. So the company is Snouse Electric Company. It's basically just one guy making all these pedals. This is called the Blackbox Overdrive 2. It's the only pedal I believe that he sells. I mean, he sells variations of this pedal, but this is pretty much the only. I don't think he has any other pedals actually. Just this Blackbox Overdrive 2 pedal. He has like variations of it where he puts like switches and stuff on it, but I don't think he really sells like any other distinct model of pedal. So yeah, he just focuses on this one. He hand builds them one at a time. It's also very versatile. So it's got gain, volume, tone, preamp, and presence dials. And if you get the one with the switches, it can be even more versatile than that. But this is the regular one, the regular version. So if you buy this pedal right now, you have to join a wait list. So it's because he's a boutique builder. He's only one guy making these pedals, so there's a wait list for it, just like Analog Man. Except that the MSRP is actually pretty fair. It's $150 for it. So that's actually not a bad price. If you compare it to other boutique builders, which are usually upwards of 200 bucks, 150 bucks is not a bad price. You have to join a wait list and you gotta wait for it. Of course, I bought this from Reverb, so I didn't have to join any wait lists. I just paid a little bit more for this. I think I paid around $170 for this one. So yeah, it's still below 200 bucks, although above the MSRP, right? Because yeah, I don't have to join a wait list or anything. So yeah, you can tell that this one is actually individually numbered and signed, and you can tell it's dated as well, though, with the date he built it. which is August 23rd last year, 2022. So yeah, this is really a boutique handmade pedal. So it'd be interesting to compare these two. These are both very versatile pedals, and this one originally based on a boutique pedal, and this one is a boutique pedal. So it'd be interesting to compare them both. Again, distant cousins of the Marshall Bluesbreaker type of circuit. So we'll see how they compare. But they both look pretty interesting to me, and we'll see yeah, which one you guys, or which one I like better. Alright, so now I have both these pedals in my circuit, and yeah, I'm going to compare the tones of both. And just for fun, I also have the Ibanez TS9 Tube Screamer as well to compare it to, because everyone knows what a Tube Screamer sounds like. This is actually a Tamura mod Tube Screamer, so it's got a little bit more upper mid-range clarity and bite to it, but otherwise fairly similar to a typical Tube Screamer type sound. So yeah, let's compare it. So first of all, I have a Milkman 1 watt plus amp. This is very similar to like a Fender Blackface type amp, so pretty good for pedals, I'd say. So it's got a decent amount of clean headroom to it, and I have it plugged into my guitar is an G&L ASOT Special. The pickups are fairly similar to like a P90 or Jazzmaster type pickups, I'd say, so fairly fat single coils. So that's basically what my setup is right now. So you guys compare the sound. So right now on the neck pickup, bridge pickup, right. Sound. Alright, so first let's test out the Blackbox Overdrive 2. These are all handmade in Denver, Colorado, apparently. Originally they are based upon the Marshall Bluesbreaker, exactly, but I think the Blackbox 2 adds a few more like features, and actually they redesigned the circuit. He redesigned the circuit for this one. So it's a little bit different than a Marshall Bluesbreaker, but still inspired by it, I guess. Okay, so all the controls are set to about noon right now. Let's check it out. Alright, Blackbox Overdrive 2 by Snouse. Oh, look at this. It's got a growl to it, damn. This pedal has pedal has a lot of low end punch to it. You guys hear that? That's a huge low end punch. Hear that growl here? It's a nice low end growl. Yeah, this pedal has a lot of low end to it. Now, I haven't tried too many Marshall Bluesbreaker type pedals. I haven't tried the original either, which is now reissued. I have tried the Ramble FX Marvel Drive. That was years and years ago. That was supposed to be kind of like a Marshall Plexi type of sound, like a Marshall Plexi in the box. But then this is not exactly that. It's definitely got some hints of it, but not exactly that either. Interesting. So this preamp control is actually more like a boost, I believe. So if I turn down the gain, right, actually you guys can just hear it. Well, that is a lot of low end still. If I so you increase the tone a bit, so you have still a lot of low end. Okay. Usually increasing the tone will increase the clarity a bit, but nope, still a lot of low end in this pedal. Okay, so the preamp is almost like a volume knob actually. But you have a volume knob here as well. It's interesting. Okay. I wonder what's the difference between the volume and the preamp control, because the preamp control seems to me like almost like a second volume knob. See, if I turn it down, I get no volume anymore. So this is almost like a volume knob. If I turn the volume down, got no volume. Yeah, so what's the difference between these two? Preamp and volume. It's almost to me like they're the same thing. Turn the volume up. Okay. And then if I turn the preamp up, I don't get it. It's not like it's not adding more gain or anything. It's almost like a boost. No, but then it functions exactly the same as the volume knob. Okay, so then it's almost like doubling it. Okay. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure the purpose of this preamp knob. It just seems to me like just a second volume knob. I'm not really sure what's the purpose of this one. I mean, if you want a higher volume, why not just use a volume knob? But I guess this is to add an additional boost sound. It's almost like having like double volume knobs here. Interesting. Okay, it's almost like an additional boost volume knob. So it's like a second volume knob basically. But you still have a lot of low end on this pedal. If I increase the presence here, that increases the clarity a little bit, I guess. If I turn down the presence, what happens? It gets a little bit muddy. Perfect. It gets a little bit muddy if I turn down the presence. If I turn it up, okay, so this is basically increasing the clarity of the presence. Okay, so I really do need to leave that on a bit higher because I feel like presence at neutral is still a little bit too much low end and it just dominates. So I'm gonna add more presence. See, if I don't have this presence up, it just sounds a little bit, still too much low end there. It's kind of muffling, right? So I got to turn this presence up. That's better. Okay, so right now, yeah, so you can have that kind of high gain type of sound, but then if you turn down the gain a little bit and you turn up the presence, you can have some nice little bit of clarity here. Detail. Okay, that's cool. Actually, get some nice clarity out of that. But then when you turn up the gain, that's when you get that snarl, right? So yeah, once you turn up the gain, it's a huge amount of range you can get from that. If you turn it down, it's really nice and articulate, right? Once you turn it up to even noon, it gets growly, really growly. guess if you turn up full, it'll be like a, almost like a full tone OCD or a Proco Rat, right? So yeah, once you turn up the gain, this thing has a lot of gain on tap. It's actually almost like a full range overdrive. It is, because if you turn the gain all the way, like, you know, really down, it's pretty much just almost like a clean boost. Yeah, just a light grit like this, and then you have your typical overdrive sound. Higher gain, and then you go all the way up to distortion levels and you turn it up. Yeah, so it's like a full range overdrive. So think of a Boss Blues Driver, Keeley Fat Mod, Full Tone OCD. Like, these type of overdrives are called full range overdrives because they can go anything from a clean boost all the way up to full on like distortion. And that's pretty much what this pedal does. Goes all the way from clean boost to full range to yeah, like a full out distortion. So I'm not sure if that's what the original Marshall Bluesbreaker did, but definitely this pedal has a lot of range to it, right? Just by turning the gain knob, I would say like leave all the other knobs about where they are, because yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess if you want to have a lot of like low end grit, you can turn this. Turn that presence knob down. When you turn it down, it's like, dang, it's like Black Sabbath. Growl if you turn it down, but I prefer to have more clarity, so you just leave it around there. But yeah, the gain, it goes all the way full range, anything from like clean boost to moderate overdrive to full on distortion to near fuzz territory. It does it all. So this Snouse Blackbox Overdrive 2 is pretty much a full range overdrive. So that's, yeah, I mean, nice. If you guys like full tone OCD or you know, Keeley Fat Mod or a Boss Blues Driver, then I think this is definitely in that line. If you were to pick one, like the most versatile overdrive to have, then this would definitely be on that list. All right, so that's the Blackbox Overdrive 2. Yeah, it's a full range overdrive actually. Okay, now let's try the MXR Duke of Tone, which I have it set to the boost setting right now, and all the knobs set to 12. Let's try this one out. Again, it's my clean tone, and then the MXR Duke of Tone here. Pretty much the same. So on the boost setting, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much just a clean boost. There's no coloration, right? I can turn up the volume. I can turn up the drive. Actually, the volume just, yeah, it's just a boost now with drive, with the volume turned up. But with drive turned up, you get a slight grit to it. Yeah. Oops. Let's try this. Yeah, you get a little bit of grit on this boost setting once you turn up the drive. So a very light grit. So think MXR Timmy would probably be my comparison here for a light grit overdrive. So definitely the Duke of Tone can get there. That light grit overdrive is nice. That reminds me of an MXR Timmy. All right, now if, so the boost is an interesting Like this setting is if you want a light grit, I mean clean boost to a light grit, you can put on this setting. And then OD, right, is the overdrive setting. Definitely get some more grit out of this one. Medium grit, I'd say. This one seems like it has less volume out of the box. Yeah, there's definitely not as much volume in the OD one. You gotta turn up the volume a bit. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's just medium grit. Turn up the grit a little bit more, or the drive, I mean. Tone I usually leave to about is, but you can turn the tone up. I don't think there's... Yeah, I'll probably just leave the tone about middle. And I'll turn up the drive. Okay, yeah, so that if you want your medium overdrive, like your medium grit overdrive, just think of, I guess, Tube Screamer, although it doesn't really sound like a Tube Screamer, maybe like a Klon, yeah. This maybe sounds more similar to a Klon than a Tube Screamer. Yep, so more of a Klon-ish sound on this OD. Not exactly, but yeah, that's your medium grit overdrive, which is what I consider a Klon. And then distortion. So let's turn up to the, I'm guessing this is the highest setting. So let's see, boost, OD, which has less volume initially. Let's try distortion. Okay, so then you turn up the volume a little bit on this too. And turn up the drive on this one. So this one should be like Pro Rat level. I think in general the MXR Duke of Tone is it has more high end, like has more clarity in the high end than the Black Box Overdrive 2. The Black Box Overdrive 2 has more grit in the low end. So it's a different type of sound, depends on what you guys like. They're both kind of full range. Like they both go all the way from clean boost all the way to full on distortion. The sound signature is definitely different. So if you guys can compare, I will play all these for you again. So this is the Black Box Overdrive 2 at low gain, which is basically almost like a clean boost or a light grit like this. The MXR Duke of Tone at the boost setting, pretty much the same, right? Oops, let's make the volume about the same. Okay. Boost setting really has more volume on tap than the other setting. Same neck pickup for all. Wow, yeah. Even when I turn the presence up, more low end on the Overdrive 2 compared to the Duke of Tone, which has more high end. You can hear more clarity on the Duke of Tone and more low end on the Overdrive, on the Black Box Overdrive. And then if I turn up the gain to about medium here, we can compare that to the OD setting on the Duke of Tone here. So on the Overdrive 2, you get into like distortion territory, fuzz territory. The Duke of Tone. Yeah, again, the major difference I hear is the Black Box Overdrive has more low end, and the Duke of Tone seems to have more, higher frequencies, treble frequencies. More boost. This one is like, this pedal in general has more of a boost in the treble, whereas the Black Box has more of a boost in the bass, I think. Alright, and when we compare the high gain settings, it's almost like a big muff pie that's so fat. It's pretty much like a big muff pie, that setting, and then the distortion setting here on the Duke of Tone. More Pro Rat, I'd say. Okay, so this is with neck pickup. Bridge pickup. Okay, and then with the Black Box neck pickup. Bridge pickup. You guys can hear the difference, right? There's actually a very big difference between these two. Yeah, the Black Box Overdrive, no matter what setting I'm on, it always seems to have like a bass boost, like a boost in the low end, whereas the Duke of Tone seems to have a boost in the high end. You guys can definitely tell there's more clarity in the Duke of Tone and more of a fatter low end in the Black Box, so it's interesting. Alright, well, let's just put the Tamura Mod Tube Screamer as well. You guys can hear the difference. This is the Tube Screamer sound with an upper mid-range boost. Again, neck pickup. Clearly hear actually a pretty big difference between all three of these overdrive pedals. The Tube Screamer, right, is your classic mid-range or upper mid-range boost here. And then your MXR Duke of Tone, I think, is boosting the upper mid-range and the trebles a lot. Your Black Blackbox is going to boost the low end. Right? So yeah, these are all different. Yeah, it really depends on what type of sound you're looking for out of your overdrives. If you're looking for, you know, something just to cut through the mix and boost your mid-range, then the Tube Screamer is the classic go-to. But if you guys are looking for something for a little more clarity, high-end bite, then the MXR Duke of Tone, or Prince of Tone, I guess, is yeah, it's a full-range overdrive. I mean, it goes from clean boost all the way up to what I consider Proco Rat level distortion. It can do that, but you're gonna have a, I would say, more boost in the clarity, right, in the higher frequencies for all those settings. Whereas the Snouse Blackbox Overdrive 2 also is a full range, but it's even more so than the Duke of Tone, I would say. It's almost like an OCD, right, full tone OCD. So it goes from clean boost all the way up to fuzz territory, like Big Muff Pie territory. So that's higher end than the, you know, Proco Rat is distortion, but Big Muff Pie, that's fuzz territory. And it adds like this low end growl to it, this low end bite. So it really depends on what type of sound you're looking for, really, right? So if I'm, you know, playing with the, again, Tube Screamer on. MXR Duke of Tone, right? I can put it in the OD territory, actually. Then Snouse Blackbox. Yeah, definitely more, you hear that low end, like Big Muff Pie-ish type of growl in there. Yeah, it really depends on what type of sound you guys are looking for. I'd say, like, in terms of just pure amount of gain on tap, the Blackbox Overdrive 2 has the most. I mean, it really is full range. I mean, everything from clean boost all the way up to Big Muff Pie, it's there, right? This is like as full range as you can get. That's as full range as you can get. Yeah, or you can turn the gain down and it's like this, right? It cleans up a lot. So like, that's pretty full range, right? It goes from this all the way up to that fuzz type, that fuzz level. It's crazy. So really, I think the Snouse wins in terms of having the actual range. Like, that's crazy, going from that clean boost all the way up to like Big Muff Pie level. Okay, now the MXR Duke of Tone is interesting. Like, it does have a pretty nice clean boost to it. Light grit overdrive. Like, if you guys are looking for something like an MXR Timmy, but the MXR Timmy is pretty versatile, but if you're looking for something with that kind of like light grit overdrive, but you always want to like the same kind of versatility, but you wanted more power, more gain and distortion on the other end of the spectrum, then I think the Duke of Tone is really that's what it is. Because it's almost like you take an MXR Timmy, which means it's sort of transparent, but then you add like you add more like versatility, more gain onto it on tap, right? So right now, like it basically is kind of like a Timmy right now. This nice transparent like light grit overdrive. That's what the Timmy is. So the Duke of Tone has that on the boost setting, but then if you want something like, you know, if you want to go more clon, you have that. This is what I would consider more of a clonish setting. This OD setting is not exactly like a clon, but definitely more like a mid-gain sound like a clon is. So you have that. And then if you want, you know, distortion, proco, rat level, then you have that. So it's definitely also very versatile, although not quite as full range as the black box. Doesn't go up to the Big Muff Pi level, but you do have a nice range here. It goes from, yeah, essentially like MXR Timmy all the way up to Proco Rat. So that's still a pretty good range there. So if you ever rely, like you have like an MXR Timmy and you want to have something just as versatile, but you want to have a little bit more gain on tap, then the Duke of Tone pretty much is that. And then the Tube Screamer is like the least versatile out of all of them, right? Because it only has one sound, it just does it really well. It's basically like this one trick pony, right? So yeah, and as you hear again. It's the least versatile, but yeah, for that specific type of sound, you know, that's the go-to. It does it really well. It's a one-trick pony, but it's a really good trick that everyone uses. So yeah, that's pretty much the comparison, guys. It depends on what kind of sound you're looking for. The fullest full range, like as full range as you can get, all the way from clean boost all the way up to fuzz, the Black Box Overdrive 2 is the way to go. If you want your low end, you want your like big fat bottom end, that's where the Black Box is good at. MXR Duke of Tone, if you want to have a light, transparent type of overdrive, all the way up to like Proco Radish type distortion, that's what the MXR Duke of Tone is good for. Pretty versatile, just not as full range as the Black Box, but it does have more clarity than the Black Box does. The Black Box has more, you know, bottom end. MXR doesn't have that bottom end; it has more high end clarity. And then the Tube Screamer, if you want that mid-range type of sound, the classic sound, to cut through the mix. So really, that's it. Depends what type of overdrive you guys are looking for in your sound. So. Okay, one thing I have to mention, and I didn't demo yet about the Black Box Overdrive 2, is that there are dip switches on the inside of the pedal, which we can flip to change the tone of the pedal. So there's a high gain mode, which is by default what this pedal mode is in. Then there is a lower gain mode, which is the original classic Bluesbreaker circuit, which is fairly low gain. And then there's a boost mode, which is just mainly for acting as a clean boost. So yeah, haven't demoed that yet, so let's actually go ahead and open up the pedal so we can change the dip switches. So yeah, there is a stage 2 Pro Mod version of this pedal, which you pay extra for. They're a lot more expensive, especially if you don't want to wait for the pedal. If you find them on Reverb or eBay or whatever, they're going to be significantly more expensive. That's why I don't have the Stage Pro mod version, which has these switches on the side. So instead, we have to actually go inside the pedal and open it up. There's also a deep tight voicing, which is another thing that's the Stage 2 Pro mod version adds to that switch. But other than that, I think we should be able to find switches inside this pedal. Okay, so let's take a look inside the pedal anyways, because it's all hand wired. So unlike other pedals, even the supposedly handmade pedals, the other ones that are actually made in the USA can be made with surface mount parts, or just PCBs and stuff. This one is actually totally hand wired by one guy, the founder of Snouse. I think his name is Josh something. I don't know his last name, but yeah, basically this company, Snouse Electric Company, is just a one-man shop. Yeah, this guy in Denver, Colorado, he hand wires and hand builds all these pedals. So yeah, we're gonna take a look inside and we're gonna flip the switches too. Okay, so just undo these 4 screws, and then we're gonna try out the different modes too. I'm excited because I haven't actually tried out these modes before. Okay, so I can actually see each one of these pedals has an individual serial number. The one I have is 12148. Not sure, did he actually build 12,000 pedals by hand? That seems like quite a bit. And the date that he made this pedal, which is January 14th, 2022. Right, so you lift the pedal up and you see a really nice circuit board inside of here. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is a completely hand-wired pedal. Unlike other pedals, which just say like made in USA, like the Wampler, for example, I don't think those ones are actually hand-wired by Brian Wampler or whoever. JHS pedals, I don't think that's actually hand-wired by Josh Scott. Keeley pedals are not actually hand-wired by Robert Keeley. But the Snouse pedals are actually hand-wired by the founder of Snouse. So yeah, this, you can see like how clean the circuit board looks. That's amazing. It's done like, this is done really so well. And there's these dip switches here. All right, so this is the manual here, and funny enough, the manual is actually kind of funny. It says, only small amount of pressure is necessary. Do not press hard enough to make your fist fly like Mike Tyson's punch out if you slip. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, you have the standard high gain mode, which is up, down, up for the first 4 switches. Classic mode, which is down, up for the first 4 switches. Clean boost mode, which is down, down, first 4, and the 5th switch is active on all settings, and it changes up for smooth, down for bright. So when you look at the pedal here, this is actually in the classic mode, down, up. So yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was actually in the high gain mode. So what you guys been hearing is actually the black box in classic mode. So yeah, let's hear it in classic mode just as a refresher, and then I'll change it from this smooth setting to bright, which means I'll turn it down, and then you guys can hear the differences, and then we'll try clean boost mode and standard high gain after that. Oh, by the way, the back of the pedal also has the same thing, J2148. So I guess he didn't make 12,000. He made 2,000, over 2,000 pedals by hand. I was like, okay, 12,000, that's a lot of pedals to hand make by yourself, especially when you're hand wiring it like this. 2,000, yeah, that's a bit more reasonable, I guess. So I guess we know how many pedals he built then. I have number 2,148, built on January 14, 2022. Okay, nice. Anyways, right now I'll be demoing the classic Bluesbreaker type mode, which is the low gain mode in the smooth setting. That's with the 5th switch up, okay? So this is my clean tone. I'm using a Duesenberg Joe Walsh Alliance in the middle position, so it's kind of like a humbucker single coil tone. Actually, I'll just switch to the single coil sound, so you guys can hear the single coil sound. It's a bit easier to digest. Okay, single coil sound, and I turn the, have all the knobs kind of set in the middle position here. I'll turn on the overdrive 2. There we go. Clean, and then turn this on. You guys can hear that typical gritty low end that the Bluesbreaker circuit adds. You guys can also hear that it is not that high gain. Like I have all my volume turned up actually on my guitar. Turned all the way up, but it's not like especially high gain. So we have turn it all the way up. Volume up. Tone up. Presence. So yeah, I add a bit of boost and then press. Add a bit of boost, add a bit of presence, which is some high end, and then right now is the highest gain that the original Marshall Bluesbreaker essentially has, because this is in the original Marshall Bluesbreaker circuit mode. So this is the highest gain available on tap from the original circuit. It's really this edge or breakup type of sound. So in this mode, I would say it definitely does not have as much gain as the Timmy, or the MXR Timmy, or the MXR Duke of Tone for that matter, because both of those circuits have more gain on tap. So yeah, This is in the original classic Bluesbreaker mode, though. In the classic Bluesbreaker circuit, that is the original circuit, is known for not having that much gain on tap. It's really just to add that little bit of grit, right? This pedal by itself in this low gain mode. It only adds a little bit of like edge of breakup, like a little bit of dirt. That's about it. I guess you can kind of use it as a boost type thing, but yeah, for me this is just an underwhelming mode, right? So let's see, and this is on the smooth setting. So let me put that switch back down so I can put it in the bright setting. And let's see what that does. So okay. So this is the last switch here. I'm going to flip this down so we have it in the bright setting now. Now let's see what that one does. Okay. Alright, so you guys heard the smooth setting, now let's hear the bright setting. So again, this is clean tone. Turn it on. Setting, I think. More high end in this setting, maybe. Yeah, anyways, we can turn the gain up, volume up, as usual, and turn up a bit. Definitely seems to be higher gain in this setting, at least to my ears. The bright setting has more high end, obviously, more clarity, more bite. I prefer this to the smooth mode, actually. This one has more bite to it. Yeah, this bright switch, I think it adds more clarity and more bite. So I think I like this mode a bit better. The smooth mode, I just feel like it doesn't have enough punch to it. It gets a little bit muddy for my taste, so I like this mode better. It's less muddy and more bite. Yeah, just turn it down a bit, and then we'll do the same riff here. Same riff here. Okay, so far I like the bright setting. So that is on the low gain mode. Now I'm going to change it to the clean boost mode. Okay. Maybe I'll move this smooth switch back up here. And then clean boost mode is down, up, down, down. So down, up, down. Move this fourth one down. There we go. Okay, so let's see. In clean boost setting, this preamp switch won't do anything because, I mean, you can't have a clean boost on top of an already clean boost, so it just doesn't do anything. So yeah, this is just in the clean boost mode. So again, nothing. basically no gain in this mode. It's pretty clean. I mean, that's what the clean boost mode is for, right? It's called clean boost mode because it's basically just upping the signal and keeping. There's no gain on this. All the gain is just the natural gain you get from hitting the amp. So there's no yeah, there's really no gain in this mode. It really is a clean boost. A lot of articulation in this one. It's on smooth setting too. I don't even need to put it in the bright setting. Already a lot of articulation and clarity in this mode. I don't even need to put it on the bright setting. Just keeping the smooth settings good. Yeah, this is a nice mode to use if you're looking for a boost, but honestly, yeah, I wouldn't use this as a boost because I have better options for that. I have my light keeper and actually I have my Timmy pedal as well, so I wouldn't use this for the boost unless it's your only pedal. Yeah, because there's better options. This pedal, you're kind of underutilizing it if you're using it just as a clean boost. So next I'm going to put into high gain mode because I think that's where the Blackbox Overdrive 2, I can make the most of it. I want to be able to make the most of this pedal, not just use it as clean boost. But the clean boost is there, and that's nice and versatile that way. Okay, so the high gain mode is up, down, up, up. Clipping section, additional clipping section is enabled, okay. So up and up on this, so yeah, okay. So just down and everything else is, actually no, the second one is down, my bad. The first one is actually up, the second one is down. Okay, so basically it's yeah, up, down, and then the rest is up. Okay, check out the high gain mode, and I have it on the smooth setting. Test the bright setting a bit. Okay, now my clean signal. Turn this on. Okay, definitely more gain on tap in this mode. So even gain set to 12 o'clock here is about the same as the gain set to about 3 o'clock on the low gain setting, I'd say. Definitely more gain on tap in this one. Yeah, already it's, this is like, the middle gain setting is equivalent to the, you know, me turning the drive knob all the way up on the low gain settings. Okay, but now let's turn it up and see what we have here. I'm liking this. Okay, high gain setting, when you turn up the gain volume, doesn't muddy up the tone at all or anything. Still, you keep your, you know, your basic guitar sound, but it does add a lot more grit. Really nice. Thickens up your tone a lot. So yeah, I'm really liking this high gain setting. Okay, turn it down, everything back down. Riff again. So lastly, let's try to flip it into the bright mode. Alright, so right now it's a smooth mode. We'll flip it into the bright mode. Let's see how it sounds like. Alright. Clean tone. Alright, so once again, clean tone, and then the black box too. More bite in this mode again. On the bright mode, it seems to have more bite, but it loses some of the low end, of course. So you lose some of that bottom end that you get with the smooth mode. So I think that's the biggest difference I noticed. So smooth mode is going to be more low end. So yeah, if you want to have that low end type of dirt or girth, like if you want your sound to be fattened up, I think the smooth mode is better. But the bright mode is for you if you want more bite or punch to your tone. Turn up the gain. There we go. Let's turn this up. Down. Nice. That's it, guys. That's pretty much the demo of all the different modes on here. So my overall impressions are I like the high gain mode the most. The classic mode, the low gain mode, I just feel like it doesn't have enough power, you know, not enough punch for me. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people didn't like about the original Bluesbreaker. It's a classic circuit, but doesn't have enough gain on tap, and that's why the Morning Glory, the Prince of Tone, King of Tone, and the Blackbox Overdrive 2, all the Bluesbreaker style overdrives, they make up for it by making it higher gain, or in this one, giving you a higher gain mode. So yeah, the classic circuit just doesn't have enough. It's good for like very low gain, but then yeah, if I want to have like a bit more punch than that. Clean boost mode is good. Of course, it's for clean boosting, but I think I have other pedals I can use instead of that. I think I'll use my Light Keeper. Sometimes my Timmy, I can use that for it as well, or I can use the MXR Duke of Tone's boost mode, right? I mean, that's what pretty much the King of Tone or the Prince of Tone has similar modes to what the Blackbox Overdrive 2 has. The classic mode, it was essentially the overdrive mode. The clean boost mode is the boost mode, and the high gain mode is pretty much the distortion mode. So you have modes that are pretty equivalent to the Prince of Tone / Duke of Tone style circuit, right? They do similar things. It's just that for the Prince of Tone / Duke of Tone, it's just the switch is actually on the pedal itself, so you can just easily toggle that. But in this version, without the Stage Pro mod, I have to go on the underneath of the pedal to do it. The bright smooth mode is interesting. Yeah, I mean, out of the three modes, I prefer to have the standard high gain mode. I think that one is the one most people will like, because yeah, like the classic mode just doesn't have enough oomph, like not enough punch for or effect for most people. I think most people prefer the high gain mode, so it has a more noticeable effect. But then within the high gain mode, whether you want bright or smooth, it depends on what you want. The smooth mode will give you more bottom end. It's actually the classic thing that I associate with Bluesbreaker circuits, is that it gives you a bit of low end. So it gives you, yeah, that low end kind of thing, thickening up your tone while preserving the core of your tone. But it gives you that low end kind of thickening it up. The bright mode is for you guys who want to have more punch, more bite, more clarity. If you don't like that low end that the Bluesbreaker type circuits do add, then you can switch it to the bright mode, and it basically doesn't add that. And then it's almost just like a Timmy almost. So it's very, very transparent actually if you put it into the bright mode, for me anyways. It kind of just boosts the high end more than the low end, right? But to me that sounds a little bit more transparent, but maybe that's just because I'm using single coils. If you have humbuckers, then yeah, maybe the low end is what you're used to. So anyways, I prefer actually the smooth mode on the high gain. I actually prefer the bright mode on the classic mode, but I prefer the smooth mode on the high gain mode. Yeah, because I do like to have that low end punch, right? So for this, and then I think I flipped the switch already. Yep. Okay, so this is back on the smooth mode. Yeah. I like to have that low end kind of thickening up my tone, because that's what I associate with the Bluesbreaker style circuit, right? I want it to be acting differently than something like my Timmy. But I need to turn up the presence a little bit now. Preamp a little bit more and tone a little bit more. Yeah, that's it. I like to have that low end that the Bluesbreaker circuit adds, and then having it in high gain mode I think is good, because it does definitely adds more of an effect. So personally I think this is just going to be my setting for this thing. I'm just going to set it and leave it, so always have it in high gain mode on the smooth setting. That's what I think this is perfect as a Bluesbreaker style circuit. And then I have other pedals basically, right, to do other things, like if I want to boost, if I want more high end, I have other overdrive pedals for that. So anyways, that's it. I do prefer the Blackbox Overdrive 2 to the MXR Duke of Tone overall. They're both versatile pedals. I just prefer the sound of the Overdrive 2 more. I think just the sound out of it I get from it, I just think is a more refined, just better sounding version of what any of the modes I can get out of the MXR Duke of Tone, and does something different than my Timmy as well. So yeah, I mean, it adds that Bluesbreaker style low end flavor to it. So yeah, that's it guys. That's the Snouse Blackbox Overdrive 2. I really like it. It's probably my favorite Bluesbreaker style pedal. Definitely prefer it over the MXR Duke of Tone. I just think that on all the different settings here, whether it be the high gain, classic, or clean boost mode, it just sounds better than the Duke of Tone. I don't know, Duke of Tone just for some reason on all the different settings just didn't find it sounding that great. I just think it's an improvement on all of the Duke of Tone's modes, or the Prince of Tone's modes. And yeah, I mean, it's a great pedal for adding that low end type of grit to your tone while keeping the your main tone intact. Just adding that light to medium overdrive. Great for stacking. And yeah, I mean, I prefer it in this mode here, the high gain mode with the smooth switch up. Well, the switch up in the smooth setting, I should say, because it gives it more of that typical characteristic low end that I associate with this circuit. But yeah, it's nice to be able to have a lot of options. So it's very versatile, and stacks well with a lot of my other pedals. And I think, yeah, if I have my boost pedal, I probably, or if I wanted more clarity, probably I'll use my Wampler Euphoria or my MXR Timmy for that. But yeah, I think just this pedal in this mode, I think it's just great. It's probably the best Bluesbreaker style pedal I've owned and heard. So yeah, that's it guys. Probably be using it more for stacking more than anything else. Probably wouldn't use it too much by itself. I probably just use it for stacking as kind of like a first stage style overdrive. Yeah, I can just probably stack it on top of my Tumnus or my Timmy or my Euphoria. It's just a great pedal for stacking, and then adding that extra hair on your notes and and extra bottom end and stuff. So I think it'd be great for that. And yeah, I haven't tried a lot of the other Bluesbreaker style circuits, just the MXR Duke of Tone, basically. I haven't tried the Morning Glory, and I haven't tried the Wampler Pantheon. I mean, those might sound better, but at least in this comparison, at least compared to the MXR Duke of Tone, I think that this is probably the better Bluesbreaker pedal for me. And you know what? I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised how different these two pedals are. Even though they're both based or inspired by the Marshall Bluesbreaker, or at least a distant cousins of the Marshall Bluesbreaker, it's surprising to me how different they actually are from each other, right? So I haven't tried an original Marshall Bluesbreaker, but definitely these two pedals are pretty different from each other. Yeah, as always, leave me any comments below what you guys think. Which one would you guys choose? The Snouse Blackbox Overdrive 2 or the MXR Duke of Tone, or maybe you want to go for the classic tube screamer sound. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching.